Arden?
No, Garland.
Yeah, his is still the same hits.
Oh shit, we're on stream. What's up, y'all?
We're on stream. Cameo from Multiracial Lion, who just hit
What
200
up?
subs. Congrats, man.
Yeah, I did. Thank you.
Congrats, man. We still need to get you to 500. You're like 300 away. We need to get a bunch of people all the way to like
just
500.
300.
Just 300.
I need to make more content.
I mean, I do like your I did like your poll videos and stuff like that. I thought they were good.
Oh, thank you. They seem to be doing well. They do better than the old poll, like the actual poll videos, as well as the like the before you pull, should you pull, whatever you want to call it. So
yeah, mine isn't should you pulls. Mine's are just like all right, I'm gonna tell you what this character does, and I'm gonna give you my opinion on them, and then you pull on however you feel about them, and then I talk about the fight. So yeah,
your opinion on Yuffie is wrong though.
My opinion on Yuffie is wrong. Fuck you. Listen, I never used her. I'm not saying she's terrible because I never used her, but I have literally haven't seen anyone use her, honestly.
I do think it's fucked up how on her EX it's multiple HP attacks now, but she still only gets splashed on the last one. I was playing her, I think last week, because I was trying to run her through the what was it, the Mog stage, to throw the debuffs back at them, and I started getting annoyed by that, because it really sucks when you've got all these characters that are like, I do splash damage on every HP attack, and then you got Yuffie and it's just 1 at the end. Feels bad.
What's Yuffie? Well, what's her skill? Because I know she's a support, but like, anyway, what was her skill? Like her HP attacks, because I know apparently it's like what 3, 4, some bullshit like that.
I honestly don't remember. I just sort of play her. I want to say it's 3 and 4.
Oh, look who's fucking finally here! Hi, Tree Boy.
Hey,
I thought I wasn't coming on.
Nerd.
What?
Because I told you I'd be out for a bit, like I might have to drop out for about 30 minutes, and you said that's all good. I thought you mean like it's good you don't have to come on.
Fucker, I meant it's all good if you're late.
Oh, okay. Well, I will have to leave at some point.
This is exactly why communication is key, boys.
Yeah, we're not in HC, by the way.
I know that.
Okay.
We are live, however.
Oh wait, why did I drag Lion and he's not even on this episode? Don't worry, Lion. You'll be on.
Filling in for some.
You'll be on. What's it called? Vane.
Go over to a Tree Void video and leave a comment telling him how bad his plan to sell his FRs are. See y'all later.
Wait, huh? Chiba, that's a meme, right? Sit there and tell me that's a meme. Please sit there and tell me that's a meme.
What's a meme?
You sitting there selling your FR so you could build more?
It wasn't a meme. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing it. It depends. So if I can keep pulling FRs, I'm going to sell them to get more FRs. But if I run out of resources to be able to pull FRs, then obviously I won't sell them because there's no need for the extra high power stones.
We're waiting for the Soundwave Subhuman. We're just waiting for him, and then Trevor, do you actually not like cosplay style, or are you just lying to us?
No, I don't really like COD's play style. I thought it was like cool on launch, but the whole like overstack thing with their LD, I'm not really a fan of it. I don't really like the BT effect with the turn warping on the brakes and all that. It just it's not really my thing. I don't really like turn warping units in general. So I don't like Eldnarsh, I don't like Realm, I'm not really a fan of Noctis, so this just goes along with all that.
Noctis doesn't necessarily turn warp, he more so like positions himself.
Yeah, just like all those shenanigans. The only things I don't mind are like turn manipulation, like Realm or Reigns or Aphmau. That I don't mind, but all the like swapping where you're going in the position, it's too big brain for me. I'm just like, just do your move and go away.
I don't think that's how that works, but we are all inclined to have our own opinions. I'll be talking about an opinion later on the stream. But in a few seconds, I'm just gonna get a head start. Let me just DM Soundwave one more time and ask him what he's at.
All right.
Blondie, I'm going to have you cover Ashe today. I hope you're ready. It's +2 from 10. Don't worry, it's the same thing.
Just Ashe?
It doesn't matter really. I mean, okay, like I'll cover Reno. You can cover Ashe, and then Simon wants to cover, I believe, CoD or Setzer. I don't know which one really. But if there's anything we can chime into, basically chime into, dude. We're all here for a reason.
I got you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to drop out randomly at some point for about 30 minutes. I don't know when, so I won't. Probably it's not best to rely on me to cover someone in specific, but I can, because I do have some opinions on all of these units. So.
Oh, okay. Let me guess. Reno's good. Ashe is trash because of that whole argument we had the other few days ago. And then you're gonna say something.
No, that's BT Ashe. That's different. I don't talk about future.
What?
No, because I'm not going to complain about BT Ashe's issues on her C90. It doesn't make sense.
Fantasy 12 is 10-2 if you squint hard enough. What? That's dumb. That's ugly.
Yeah, come on. 10-2's combat's way better than 12.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Anyways, all right, let's get started. Yeah, you guys see Colorless Queen on the screen. But
yeah,
welcome to episode 49. This was in episode 50. Had my internet not gone out last week, so unfortunately, because of that, we will not be covering all the stuff that was last week, meaning tier 10. But if you want the synopsis on everything I think about on tier 10, great fight, probably one of the best fights we've gonna have in a long time. As for the units, Shalada is dumb. Aphmau is Aphmau.
Has damage now.
She does damage now. She's still gonna be a Reigns partner when he comes back. Who's the last two? Yida. Oh, Yidaroff. Cringe. And then XDef's
XDef sucks.
He's not that bad.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. He has 3 dumps on all his skills except his LD, which is 4 dumps.
Okay, that's why you let the HP buzz and tickets to course.
Yeah, which don't scale with FR. He's great if you do a no FR run, by the way.
And what's the chance?
Which is the biggest cope ever. Exactly. Like that's how bad he is.
Like
he's just premium copium.
A faithless heretic?
Yeah, I can't really defend him.
No, you're not defending him because he's not Jack. Now, we were shitting on Jack, you would be jumping out of your chair.
Oh, I would have a valid case.
And what would your valid case be?
Yeah, Jack is actually good.
Yeah, I mean, his EX has 8 dumps. That's like extremely high for this era right now.
How much does XDef have? On his
3
EX?
dumps. 3 dumps.
On his EX?
3 dumps.
Yeah, he's not supposed to be doing damage, so it's okay.
Yeah, he's not. XF isn't there for damage. He's there for the saps.
And how much, I guess, damage do you do on saps, Tree Void?
You do about 300k per turn.
He has infinite on his DT HP cap up. Yeah, he does. At least he has the HP damage cap up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 30%.
But we're not here to talk about. We're not here to talk about XF.
We're not here to talk about how bad XF is.
Yeah, Tree Void is still coping with the fact that he's a fake XF fan. But anyways, we're gonna be talking about the rest of the month, meaning Ashe. I was saying Ashe IW. Are you fucking kidding me? Reno IW with Reno and Ashe, and then after that is the event, which is tonight. That's going to be the CoD raid, which is gonna be CoD and Setzer. All 4 of these characters have gotten their C90s. CoD coming back with an FR, Reno coming back with an FR, Ashe and Setzer are just getting a C90. But anyways, as regarding to who we're gonna start off with first, I would say Reno, but let's knock out the the Ashe in the room. So, Blonda, you want to tell us about Ashe?
Sure. Ashe got a rework to all of her skills except the EX because C90, so she got upgrades to her EX that way. Her skill 1 and skill 2, they both do 3 dumps, and they both have 50% splash on it. One thing to note is her skill 2 has high turn rate, so yeah, it also lowers the enemy's speed down, so those are some things to note. Her LD, the thing about her LD before going over the LD is she gets her Queen's Order HP attack at the start of quest now, which is pretty handy. But essentially every time you use the LD, or obviously when she gets deployed, you get an HP attack called Queen's Order the following turn, which changes her HP attack, and that is 3 dumps with splash on it. What the buff does is it fills up your whole party's EX gauges to max, including hers, and she moves their turns right after hers. And
I want to mention something that you probably didn't. That's new. Before, her special HP plus did not refill her EX recast. Now it does.
Okay, yeah. And yeah, it's overall pretty nice stuff. So now her EX, oh boy. Her EX now has 6 dumps. Maelstrom Bolt does 3, and then Arc Blast, which is tied together with her EX, does another 3, so 6 total. And in between Maelstrom and Arc Blast, there's splashes in between the end of them. This move now also paralyzes all enemies, so it's pretty handy. And yeah, that's basically all she really got. Pros and cons. She's a Thunder and Holy Enchanter with pretty much limited turn manipulation that can also influence EX charges. Considering that there's a lot of people with really good EXs, like this is really handy to have out. Her auras are also pretty good, so we can just lob them all together into like one category. Her second pro, I guess, can be that she can apply paralysis pretty quickly. She can choose when to as well with her EX. Her EX has, I believe, a 6-turn buff, which I think gets extended to 9 turns if you reuse it, because that buff grants buff duration to all of Ashe's buffs. So it's pretty good. And she also has some healing, not like a lot of healing, but you know, pretty good healing. Before she didn't really, well, before like her LD. But yeah, she has some healing. I'd say when it comes to, she's also a greatsword ultimate weapon.
One of the best.
Or is this no, it's greatsword, yeah. Weaknesses. Her base skills, even though they got a damage increase, they're still not great. For some odd reason, I found this really confusing. Her HP attack doesn't launch. It brings their turns up, but for some odd reason, she doesn't, she doesn't like trigger a launch off of it. Even though she's dual enchanted, this will come into play later, and even if you bring her into Dare to Defy 3, having access to dual elements isn't quite, well, it's good, but like in certain situations, like in Dare to Defy 3's case, it could actually be a backfire, because Dare to Defy 3 specifically wants you to do non-elemental or holy, but the fact that she enchants Thunder as well, you know, that's not a tick box or a checkbox for it. So at the end of the day, your characters are going to be dealing 1s inside there. And on top of that, she's competing with BT and FR units without having one, but she does get one later down the line. But for now, it's a con that we unfortunately have to put in there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Have you guys messed around with Ashe, and what do you guys think about her, honestly?
Well, I already had her from her initial LD debut. Actually, I had her since her initial LD debut. I think the one thing about Ashe is, like, again, like you mentioned, since she doesn't have BT, she's not really having a good competition. She's competing with them, which isn't really that good for her. But I will say, though, that her overall damage is, of course, on the low side because she's a support. She's not supposed to be doing damage. Like, she's not supposed to be doing damage. However, I do like the fact that she has so many things going for her. Like, again, the HP regen, the turn manipulation, the paralyze. Like, she has a lot of things in her kit as a character. And like you mentioned before, she does get a B2 later down the line. So if you invest in Ashe now, then you're going to be happy enough to know that she's going to get a BTFR later. If you don't have Ashe, then you're not going to pull her BTFR later down the line. Again, if you're skipping someone, you're not pulling them later.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I think she's decent. I think she's decent. I don't think she's stellar, but I think she's decent.
Yeah, I think that's where I'd put her too. Her utility's pretty neat, especially, now C90 EXs matter. And then her EX also, the AoE paralyze is nice and all that, and does decent damage. And I guess, in FR scenarios right now, if you can pull forward a unit, 3 dumps isn't too bad to waste 1 FR turn if you get 2 really good EXs right afterwards. So it's not like a negative, I would say. I think depending on the team that you bring her in, it could be pretty good. Even using the Queen's Order special HP attack in your force time. I would say that her call is pretty useful. Yes, the double enchant can screw you in some fights, but not all fights are going to be element locked moving forward. There are quite a few, but there are also just as many, if not more, that don't have that sort of elemental restriction in such a manner. So it can be really good for stuff like Sabin's FR, or other FRs that sort of want a holy condition with a unit that isn't necessarily a holy enchanter on their own. So it is a nice utility call to have, and I think her overall kit is pretty good for where it's at. I'm not a crazy big fan of her BT iteration, but it is a solid unit, and it has that sort of Vincent BT effect of not letting the enemies buff themselves, as well as the...
they can't brave gain either.
They can't gain brave, like with Arciella or Kadash. So it is a pretty unique sort of a utility BT. So she does have a future ahead of her. But I would say, you can pull her now just for the LD call, and I'd be pretty happy with that too. Running her in party, I'm not 100% sure of, but again, I think you just need to be a little bit more picky about who you're bringing. But I think she could work.
I think the dual can hurt her. The dual element in general, it depends on
like when it works, like Treevoid says, when it works, like it does feel good. Like she can be a driver for some of the FRs we have now, and even later down the line. Like you mentioned, Sabin, Reno does have, a poopy 20% Thunder enchant, but
he's a trash character, right? So.
Dash, I guess, if people have an attachment to Dash, like he has a 20% Thunder.
Oh, we know who has an attachment to Dash in the chat.
So, like, she definitely has, like, she can definitely, like, help out some FRs with, meeting, some of their conditions. So, yeah.
There was something about Ashe I wanted to mention, but I forgot what it was.
Ashe is trash.
Why are you here?
I don't know why I'm here, honestly.
No. You heard Ashe and you were like, oh, I hate this character. I don't like Ashe. Anyone who likes Ashe is just wrong.
Could it be that she has a limited 50% HP damage up across?
Oh my god.
It's like 20% and then 30% for 4 turns to the party.
I thought you had... No, I do not have Yida as my character. I'm just doing the call on stream because I haven't farmed it yet. But, there was something about Ashe I wanted to mention, but I forgot what it was.
Dad Ashe.
He'll probably come back to me later. But anyways, we're going to talk about the main star of this banner, and that is Reno. Reno is getting an FR. He's getting a rework. He's getting any... Did I mention he's already getting an FR? Yeah, okay. So, Reno's rework. He basically got more HP attacks. That's really it, what he got. He didn't get anything, like, super crazy or, like, noteworthy, aside from the FR that we're going to be talking about. But Reno basically got the generic stat ups, like, you know, more HP attacks and stuff like that. However, the big meat of Reno is the FR. Now, the FR is completely different to other FRs we have in the game currently. And so, the way the FR works is that if the enemy takes a turn, it's plus 20%. When they use a melee attack or they use a range attack, it is plus 30%. And then the last condition is to use a thunder ability. Now, that sounds really weird when you look into the grand scheme of things, because that encourages you to give the enemies turns to make this FR really drive. If there's an FR that you kind of compare it to, it's Dash you can kind of compare it to, but honestly, it's just...
Dash but good.
Yeah, Dash but good. Yeah. Dash but good. But, the first two conditions, the first three conditions are separate, obviously. Well, the second one and not the second one. The second one and the third one are kinda similar. Who's on Historia Crux today? So Discord kid decided to be a complete ass today. So if you don't know who's on stream today, it is me, Blind Eye, Tree Void, so he has to AFK for a little bit, and then Signwave's supposed to be here, but we don't know where he is. So yeah. But anywho, the first, second, and third condition, that's easy to hit. The fourth one kinda isn't, because of the simple fact that Reno himself does not enchant the party with his main element. And something else that was brought up in the live stream, which I'm going to point out in this stream, is that his skill 1, Numb, is a anti-synergy to his FR, because after the enemy takes a turn, they will get delayed. It to do a physical or range attack. So, in that hindsight, right, this would seem like a bad FR with that kit in mind. However, there is one thing that is really strong about the FR era, and why Reno's FR is hyped up, obviously, is because of the simple fact that off-turn units are extremely powerful in this era. Like, let's see who we got. We got Edge, we got Gallup, we have Orin, we have Ace, and yes, I'm counting Ace because Ace is an off-turn unit with his traps. You have Sice, you have Kane, you have Machina. You have a lot of off-turn units to go with this FR, and then the last condition, it sounds hard to hit, but we have about 3 enchant calls in this game that are Thunder that can help with that. We mentioned Ashe with Thunder Holy. Garnet, she actually has buff start, so you'll actually get the buff start from her calls, and that's 10 turns of Water and Thunder enchant, which is actually very nice. And then you have Cryo, which Cryo is the only pure Thunder call in the game. It's the only pure party Thunder call in the game. However, it's only for 6 turns. And if you're not killing the boss by 6 turns, that definitely can be an issue. And like Carflow mentioned in chat, with his skill 1, if you remove his C15 passive, it can be somewhat okay to press because you don't get the full duration. Overall, this FR is okay. You know, I can't hold it anymore. So this whole like Numb skill 1 bullshit, and I'm gonna say this right now. This shit happened on the live stream yesterday, where people were like, well, not people. Damn. But there was this whole debacle about how, because you can't press Reno's skill 1, it feels so ass to use him outside of force time. And like, obviously outside of force time, you're not going to be doing the most of the damage, because that's when like your units are doing not so much damage, and then when you enter force time, that's when you can offload your damage. And Reno himself does not do good amount of damage outside of force time. Now, in force time, you obviously going to want your tanks, your off-turn units to take advantage of that off-turn FR. So a lot of people will look at Numb and say, oh, but if I press this button, I'm going against the moral of, you know, the character's, you know, strengths and stuff like that. The thing is, you don't have to press it. You don't have to. But at the same time, some people think that, well, doesn't that make the character weaker? By that logic, every character who has an HP plus would be bad in this game because you're not using the whole full thing about kit. And like another defense I have for that is like a character like Machina. I know why am I comparing Reno and Machina to this case, but actually no, Machina is a perfect example of this because Machina, you don't press his other two skills. You press him for his HP plus. You do not press him for his skills. The occasional time you do, and the times that you do, it feels ass. However, you're mainly going to be using him because of that strong HP plus that he has, right? For Reno, the only two buttons you really need to, the only 4 or like 3 buttons you need to press are his Pyramid, his Skill 2, and his EX. And then when EFR is up, obviously. So, I don't get why people were on this whole like, oh, because I can't use one part of Reno's kit, it feels ass to use him. I personally don't think that's true at all. Like, I really don't. And again, like we mentioned before, you can unequip his C15 passive to make it so that num isn't, a long-ass duration. So, yeah. I can see the whole thing with Reno doing no damage. That's not the problem for me personally, but I think the problem is that people are looking at the bad side rather than looking at the good side, because the good side is that you have an off-turn, powerful FR that ages really, really well. And I'm pretty sure all of you are subscribed to this person. His name's Sephi, and Sephi has been running Reno everywhere, like everywhere, and doing amazing with him. He later on bosses are gonna start turn warping and stuff like that. So it's a very, very powerful FR for the right reasons, as opposed to the wrong reasons. Fucking damn. But that's my stance on Reno. I think he's amazing if you have the units for him. If you don't, then why are you pulling for the FR in the first place? Well, you could say that about a lot of characters. Like, why are you pulling the FR in the first place if you don't have any characters to synergize with it? But what's your guys' thoughts on Reno?
Yeah, I think I'll just clarify. I think a couple of the points made
also,
on the
hello,
live
founder.
stream.
You snuck your way in here.
Just so that we give them the full right. Oh, sorry, founder. You want to go ahead?
No, you're fine.
Okay,
go ahead.
So I think one of the things was, Reno's identity before. Yes, he had the pyramid debuff, but a lot of his uniqueness came from Numb and its ability to delay enemies based off if they were doing physical attacks, and so it was sort of tied to Reno as a character. So that's one reason why you're sort of you're losing one aspect of a character completely almost to get a different character. And so you might not like the change in Reno's direction from going from a sort of physical delay unit when he was LD to a off-turn counter unit with his FR. Which, I can understand. If you don't like the direction that a character is going, you don't like it. There's nothing else that can really change your perspective on that. So I understand. Yeah, exactly. Ida used to be a character, and now she is an engine to Idaroth, right? Just slaughtered and murdered for a horrible machine. And that's sort of why, the way I was trying to describe it in various locations is don't think of Reno, don't think of this as an update to Reno. Think of this as a new character, and old Reno has been deleted. He doesn't exist anymore. Because I guess you could run him as LD only, but I don't know why you ever would do that. I think basic. Yeah, you can, but I just I wouldn't recommend ever bringing Reno. Personally, in other situations, I think his call is good enough then. If that's what if you want it for the Numb for whatever niche case, like an Odin, for example, or the Pyramid for a Threshold, I think his call is better than bringing him in party. So I think that's sort of where the other side of the argument is. I don't think anyone really said that he was a bad unit. I think people who are saying that Reno isn't great, that's more of the brain dead Reddit take, because we don't really know too much in GL We haven't seen really like how big off turn is in Shinryu era yet. You can have, but it's not quite so easy. Like Reno's the first one that makes it really sort of easy to do, because otherwise you're stuck using like cryo and stuff like that.
Listen,
which
it's okay. I suffered. You know how shit it is to get +5 on every single fucking.
Yeah, it sucks. I did it too. But it's kind of just something that you have to suffer with. So now that we have Reno and we're going to be getting more off-turn things coming up, I think people will start to come around to it, especially for people who just sort of look at what the Reddit mindset is and kind of go with the hive mind. I think just one thing to point out about why off-turn is so powerful in FR era Shinryu is because your force gauge only goes down on your turn. So if the bosses take 5 turns in a row, for example, it'll stay at 9 turns. Like it won't tick down every boss turn. So that scales exponentially well with off-turn damage, because that means your FR just keeps going and going and going, instead of just ending in 10 turns. Like if you're using Tidus or Terra, for example, where you press the LD, use the skills, press the LD, and then your force time is gone after 10 turns. Here you can sort of really make it span a bigger length of time, really milk your force time for as much damage as possible. Sinewave isn't here. I'll also provide a little bit of his argument of why Reno might be, I guess, a little bit overhyped, or why he might not be quite as good as people are building him up to be. Reno is kind of shitty in terms of being an off-turn FR because he's not really an off-turn unit. Like he doesn't provide any protection aside from Pyramid. But again, if you want the enemies to take lots of turn, yeah, as you said, Excal, Pyramid isn't really reliable because it's only 1 turn. And then additionally, he doesn't actually have any follow-up damage of his own. So let's say Minwoo, for example, enchants his own element and does off-turn damage on his own. His FR functions a little bit differently. It's based off counter damage, not just the enemies taking turns. But, he sort of fits his own kit better than Reno does. Reno's FR seems like it's something slapped on to an existing character that, it doesn't really jive with the rest of Reno's kit, aside from Pyramid. It is kind of he's a weird unit to get that FR, I think is the general sentiment. And it does feel that way. So I think that sort of Sinewave's a little bit pushback towards maybe some of the Reno overhype. I still think he's great, but I think some of those counterpoints are valid.
I think the biggest thing, and I keep mentioning this over and over again, is that yes, it is fine to hype up something, but there should be a reason why it should be hyped up. Like, I saw a post earlier today about how someone was saying like, oh, Reno's FR was overhyped as shit. Why do people say this is good, right? And then guess what? They don't have the team to compliment it. And then I'm just sitting there like, well, you kind of fucked yourself in that regard. So I have this,
not even really, right? Because like next month we get Gladio and Core. Like you can pull Reno now.
Pull on those
if you
characters?
have no. But I'm just saying, like, even if you pull them now in advance and you're like a new player, you can still get really great units for him very soon.
Yeah, that is
so
true.
He's not even like a bad investment now.
I would like to say my piece. I would like to put my chips down on the table.
I like to put my chips down on the table. We're not playing poker.
But anyway, Reno. First off, the argument with Numb is only 4 turns, so I mean it doesn't. I guess technically it lasts long if you're pushing the enemies back, but to my knowledge, you only push them back if they do a physical attack, which I mean, if they do a magic attack, which I think this boss that we're getting tonight has 1 magic attack, it doesn't really apply. But like I have used Reno like extensively, like both in long fights and short fights. You can use Electro Prod. It's just you setting up FR. You're gonna have to switch to Electric Dance or use EM Triple Shot, which Electric Dance is a skill 2 and EM Triple Shot is a ZF. And you can even use Pyramid if you want. The good thing I like about his FR is that his FR also applies pyramid, so he can have a total of 6 pyramids on. Well, I mean, you guys get the idea. He can apply pyramid 6 times to the enemy. As for the FR conditions not being for Reno, I guess I can kind of see it. I think the mentality here was that he was supposed to be a damage mitigator, and we're just trying to throw off turns in the table because it's like, why else wouldn't you run an off turn character with Reno?
I'm about to run Cheetahs with him. All my homies don't get bosses turns even though we're using off turn FR.
Yeah, but I mean, he feels okay. I guess one of the beauties I like about Pyramid, and this is to, I guess, counter X-Cow, where it's like, oh yeah, when the enemy just attacks the following turns, it's gone. And Treevoid even says we're getting upcoming characters that benefit greatly from this. We kind of have characters now that can benefit from this. For example, a very good one that I'm sure Cross would agree with is Edge. Edge gives the party 100% evasion, and if your party dodges an attack, his FR does count towards it. You get the 50% if the enemy takes a turn and they did a physical attack. And 2, Pyramid stays if your party didn't get hit, so it actually stays even longer.
Oh yeah, that's something I wanted to. That's what I wanted to mention. Fuck me, dude.
So Pyramid,
that's a cool interaction.
Pyramid doesn't have a duration. It's just apply Pyramid whenever the enemy attacks you, or I think does a debuff on you. It obviously gets canceled out by Pyramid, but then it gets wiped. And then another character that everybody was hyping up at the time, Galuf, can somewhat work. I mean, if the enemy does an AoE attack, Pyramid will still be wasted, but you guys get the idea. Like, there's characters now that people do use that are incredibly good right now that do work with Reno's Pyramid, and obviously, like Treevoy said, moving forward, we're going to get even more characters that work with it, so I just wanted to say my piece when it came to Reno as well.
No, that's a respect.
Yeah, I didn't know about that dodge interaction. Actually, which means that, it could also.
Why else do you think I ran Reno and Ashe together?
Well, just an off-turn unit, and Reno and Edge has built-in thunder damage.
Smart ass.
Right. I mean, there's valid reasons. But another unit that has party-wide evasion is Yuri BT. Now Yuri is wholly tied, so he wouldn't be doing the on-turn damage, but he does provide your whole party when his BT effect is up. Evasion, 100% evasion. So that is also another unit. And Yuri has off-turn damage with his traps. It's not, every turn, but it is 7 dumps. So, that's another potential combo. I'm not saying I'd recommend that, but it's another possible unit.
Yuri?
No, I'm Yuri guy now. So we'll see how that goes.
And what made you convert to that?
He has lands.
You know what? It's not the Yuri Historia Crux. We'll save it for later.
Yeah, I know.
And, but general consensus for me, there's a reason why I put Reno at number 2 on my FR list. I think he's stellar. I think maybe people say he's overhyped, but I personally have fun with him. I'm having fun with him. I don't really necessarily care. I don't know. Some of these motherfuckers will say that Fuji's FR is underrated, but it's bad for a reason.
I mean, in all honesty, you're probably having the time of your life because he works so well with Edge.
Not just Edge, Orin, Galuf. Then next month is Core and Core and Gladio, and then after that it's more units. Oh, yeah. I love it. The fact they're making off turns enabled now. Like, you know how much it sucked ass to rely on Crowd's shitty ass fucking plus 5% increase.
Especially when you could have the fight over in 5 minutes with it.
Yeah.
It's like, why am I doing this to myself? Yeah.
Anyways, okay. Anyone in chat? Anyone in call? I'm pretty sure the majority in here. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. Who pulled for Reno's FR and or Ashe or anything like that, or Shalar's BT actually? Oh, Alice is also on this banner, but
A brave game call, some niche elemental enchant.
I mean, her calls are really good. In fact, this whole banner has very good calls. Like Alisei call is very good. Reno call defensively is very good. Like just apply Pyramid and then Numb as well. And then Ashe has the 6 turns, Thunder and Holy, which again, if it works, it's really good. As for if I pulled, I did pull Reno. I went gems and I got his FR in 25k. I still don't have Charlotta BT. I'm probably gonna skip it, honestly. I don't have an attachment to the character, so
Are you gonna pull Luna Freya?
I am pulling on Luna Freya.
You skipped for Luna Freya.
Can we not talk about that? I'm really not trying to have it. I'm really not.
We missed last week's show, so we couldn't get all the memes in.
We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
But to give you some context, I'm going on her BT on Ink's FR banner. Yeah.
Rest in peace, Ink.
He'll be remembered always.
He became a Udaroth player and he never came back. You see what Udaroth does to people? What about you, Tree Boy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm, at the moment still going on my pull every FR thing.
The dumbest fucking idea.
If I have to stop, I have to stop. But it's fun using the new toy every fight.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, I have Reno. Yeah,
Whether you're your most hated character.
Yeah. I have Charlotta BT. Charlotta BT. It's pretty broken. Like everyone says. Everyone keeps saying, okay, so you said this earlier, Cross, and I'm going to do a little bit of pushback. You know how like Ashe is a support and supports aren't supposed to do damage?
Here we fucking go.
Charlotta is a support, and she does a shit ton of damage. So, I don't know. Like, I feel like
you want to hear my counter that? You want to hear my counter that?
Sure.
Charlotta is a DPS in disguise of a support.
That's pretty fair, honestly. She really is.
Not Nimbo with Edge, giving Edge's love of turn rate. That really depends, Lion, because I ran Edge and Reno perfectly fine, and I didn't have a real issue with him turn jumping, unless it was actually something I did not want.
I mean, you could say that about every single off-turn FR with Edge. Then, is that the point you're making? Because it's not exclusive to Reno.
Yeah.
Because Edge's high turn rate is built into the kit. Yeah. So yeah, I just instead of Reno, I would say
that's why I said mild. Don't go to the stream, boy.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna get you after this stream, so be careful. Anyways,
oh yeah, he's gonna kill me.
All right.
What's the point? I'm not gonna get into an argument.
The point is the fight.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the fight sucks.
I didn't say that.
I said that.
Well, you think every fight sucks?
No, I don't. I love T10. The CoD fight seems interesting.
This fight felt like it didn't have any HP attacks except for during the scripted part.
Except for the bullshit part that are gonna make me rage quit the game.
What?
The thresholds. That 1% threshold. That's cheating.
The one. That's funny.
The game took 30 minutes of my life away.
That's funny to me. Like, you could be like, all right, I beat the boss, and then the boss is like, you thought, and just it just takes the HP requirement with it. Like, now you gotta do it again.
Also, I've never had it hit me. Because if they die by a counter or a follow-up, so like Galuf counter or Garnet's overhead, it doesn't trigger. Or summon, and it just doesn't trigger. So like, there's so many ways to not get hit by it, or just bring any mitigation. Like, I can't believe people are having issues with this fight. Or evade it.
Call it.
Yeah, I evaded mine. Like, I did the finishing blow with Edge EX, and like, it was totally not intentional. And like, they did Carpet Bomb plus, and I'm just like, ooh, that could have been bad.
Yeah, but outside of the threshold attacks, this fight wasn't really... I will give credit where credit is due. that they tried, at least with this fight. And Ursula's lost
Did
chapter, they didn't really try.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
guess.
the thing is, I think in hindsight, the reason why their HP is low is because if you try to sit through that FR, like 200% HP damage reduction, like you're meant to just sit through that and just either mitigate it or whatnot, or just take it. And I mean, obviously that's gonna take some time and whatnot. So yeah.
I mean, I guess a little bit of pushback to this, and I guess this is like a general sentiment that the community has. If you're dealing with the enemy FR, that's a punishment for you not bringing the synergy unit, or another way to disable their FR. Like we are intentionally not dealing with the mechanics, and thus have to deal with a punishment. Like it's sort of like a nicer Lufenia orb where it just doesn't pop and you die. But it's like if we ignored the Lufenia orb and then get mad when it pops and kills us. Like the whole mechanic is to deal with the enemy FR. If you then bypass it, how can you complain that, oh, this is shit? Like you are the one choosing to ignore the mechanic. This is also my issue with that people had with T10 and its debuffs, where it's like, yeah, but you're not bringing debuff start units. Like that's on you. You're not meeting the fight where it's at, so it sucks. Like I just feel like this is a general sentiment I've been hearing lately about people not meeting fight mechanics and then complaining that the fight has a mechanic that they aren't dealing with.
I mean, isn't that the whole meme? Like, you get the boss and mechanics, people will complain.
Yeah, it literally is, and I guess we haven't had to deal with that since all of garbage time.
Yeah,
so people just forget what it's like.
They're spoiled.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, and it's just like
because you didn't have to give a fuck.
Yeah, orbs stop mattering.
You can just trample through it. Like, good lord, I used Jack so much in Lufenia Plus, and he was very clearly outdated.
Yeah. And I bet you could still rush down this fight anyways and not have to deal with the FR, even if you don't bring Reno. I'm sure Titus or Shalata could just nuke it. So, like, there are ways. I mean, if you're dealing with the enemy FR and you have no way of canceling it or rushing it down, re-examine your teams. Like, that's the biggest thing. Start pulling FRs. Because we have foresight, look at what upcoming fight FR conditions are, and also like pull so that you have a variety of options to meet those fight conditions if you don't plan on just bursting everything down. Like, just have a little bit of foresight, please.
Wait, hold on, let me see something. Let me see. Carflow said it's cross getting tier 10 on like how Raw did. I mean, I could. I'll probably beat it on like him.
Oh shit!
No, throwing shade.
Can you do it with no restarts?
Gotta do it with no restarts? I mean, come on, bro. I'm the Caius user, bro.
I was gonna say that. I'm like, you're talking to the man who freaking is gonna bring Caius. Bahamuto.
I didn't bring no Titus, no Kane, no nothing. I didn't bring Cam either. Imagine using glitches for. Okay, it's not even a glitch.
It's a feature.
It's a feature.
Yeah, it's a feature. But yeah, Reno's IW, my general consensus on it is that at least they tried, but it wasn't there. It's like the third easiest fight of the month. Second easiest?
I would say second.
Yeah, second.
I'd say second, yeah.
Yeah, because everything else is kind of difficult this month. Well, let's see. Divine Odin got Doom posted in global as opposed to JP's. I don't know how that was possible. And then
Because global can't deal with mechanics. We're so used to Unga Bunga Rush.
No, it was D2D, dude.
Yeah, a bit of both, I think.
Yeah,
I think
it was
even the base one.
Yeah, I think it was D2D, dude. That's what really solidified it. And then
Fucking love D2D.
Yeah, D2D is amazing. We're gonna talk about that later. But aside from the fight and stuff like that, is it time to? Yeah, it's time to talk about CoD. Final Fantasy 3, the game that no one played. No, people played Final Fantasy 3.
Alfie played it.
Yeah, and he likes it for some odd reason.
Because Alfie has great taste.
No, it's because he's seen CoD in 14.
Yeah, I don't remember playing 3. You know, I remember playing a Final Fantasy game where Luneth is the main character, you know?
Yeah, the best version of the game.
Well, you don't like Onion Knight?
Lunith for Defo when?
I don't recall an Onion Knight, appearing in my game.
Hashtag not my Final Fantasy 3. Alright, so about CoD. Actually, let's start with Setzer first. The character that the Lufinia plus savior, the guy that's better than Bartz apparently because Bartz doesn't make you cap. The guy that was causing a whole like apocalypse when he got delayed. But anyways, Setzer comes back with a C90. He comes back with a rework, and he gets his force enhancements, obviously. So the biggest thing that Setzer got is that now his freeze is frame. It only took them like 4 eras to do it. 4 of the 5 eras to do it. So now his freeze is frame. I believe it's still 3 turns, or it got bumped from 3 turns. I'm not sure.
It's 3 turns, yeah.
3 turns still.
Okay, yeah. His freeze Joker got 1 more HP attack. No, it got 2 more. It got 3 more HP attacks. It got 3 more HP attacks. It also got no, actually no, never mind. It only got 4 HP attacks. I was about to say something about potency, but we don't talk about potency in here.
Potency.
Red card got plus 10 uses for some reason, and now it's a 2-hit range. It's a 2-hit range plus HP attack 6 times, and the AoE is now the AoE delay is now extended to all targets. So before it used to only be 1. Now it's AoE.
Which is really good for this specific fight, by the way.
Yeah, it actually.
For sure.
Oh, so I do have to head out now, by the way. I might be back by the time the show's over.
I mean, don't worry.
But if not,
we only have
thanks for having me.
like an hour and 20 minutes. Yeah, no problem, Wood. Is that Sine Wave? Oh my god. Okay, no, that's Yoshi. Anyways, yeah. And then Setzer got a change to his LD where it's now 5 HP attacks, and now this is only for him. His fixed dice is 12 turns to himself only. It's not to the party, it's to himself. As a general consensus about Setzer, oh yeah, and his EX obviously got the usual C90 treatment, more HP attacks. It comes back in 1 skill use, so you're gonna be spamming that button over and over again. Overall, the funny thing about Setzer, right? And you're not gonna see this when he comes out, right? The funny thing about Setzer, right, is that his value looks shady. It looks shady at first because there's the freeze and then there's the red Joker, obviously, right? But then like the whole rainbow thing where like he made it easy for you to cap, that sounds shady somewhat in the sense of like since everyone's C90 era is capping, that's not really useful, so his niche isn't really that good. However, because of the nature of elemental lockouts coming later down the line, and not only that, with the way bosses are going to be working later down the line, his use actually got better because the rainbow damage makes it so that you cap no matter what, as long as you're doing brave damage. Obviously, if they're absorbing your brave damage, then you're not doing damage. So you're not doing damage. Why did I use that? But yeah, you're not doing damage. So I think Setzer got a good upgrade. For some reason, his damage is somewhat impressive for being a type of like utility support character. Like again, I mentioned this before. This man gets his EX up in 1 skill use, so you can do like red card EX, or like skill 1 EX, and then like at average, Setzer should be doing at least like about like. So red card has 6 HP attacks, right? You add his EX, right? So he's doing like 6 on 1 turn, 5 on the other. So his damage is actually pretty solid for someone who's supposed to be a support, honestly. So it's actually not bad. Obviously, the whole thing about Setzer that was true before is true present, where if your team is capping and you don't really have an issue with it, you don't need any value for Setzer at all. Like, you really don't. And I put this as a joke in one of my videos, but he'll probably get compared to Shalada because they allow you to bypass lockouts. I'm not sure if the take is been said already, but Shalada is just BT breaking Setzer, and Setzer's just Rainbow Shalada or something like that. So if that hasn't been said yet, then I have points for originality. But I personally think, as of right now, Setzer is just decent, but later, not decent. I would say he's kind of like you don't need him, but it's a good consolation prize if you have him. However, later on, his value will get better. I'm not sure if that's ass backwards, but that's how I personally feel about him. What do you think about him, Blind Eye?
I think Setzer is in a really good spot. For some odd reason, it's like you said, he has 15 uses of red card. Like, he definitely didn't need that because his EX recharges in one skill use, so it's, yeah. But like you said, like, his effects, like, you using them, like, tonight, you won't feel like he's, well, you won't feel like he's bad, but you won't feel like he's great. But later on, when it's like, oh, I want to bring X and Y, but X has thunder damage or X does fire damage, and Y, I'm bringing it for the FR, you're going to bring Setzer as your third just so X can, you know, deal with the elements since they lock out elements. So overall, it's a pretty nice addition to, or it's a pretty nice upgrade to current players who have it. And like you said, now if someone pulls on this banner, this is a very good consolation prize that won't pay off now, but later on it will definitely pay off in dividends. And like you said before, he doesn't need investment. You can take this man at force enhancement 0 or force enhancement 30, like the same thing. He's just gonna bump up the gauge a little bit quicker with force enhancement 30, but you don't need to go 30 just to use Setzer. And the fact that freeze is framed is definitely nice. You no longer need to like manage your debuffs and be like, oh shit, freeze got pushed off.
Oh yeah, no, that was the biggest comment about Setzer I had. Like, I'd be like, all right, cool, I'm safe. Then freeze gets pushed off, and I'm like, huh?
Yeah, and then also when it comes to his auras are actually pretty good in the support department. I believe he has 100% attack up. He has the usual 20% HP damage, and I believe his Embrave can go, I think it's 55%, and with the AA it can go up to 75. So it's definitely not bad at all. Like, you can definitely, like, if you have him as a third slot, his auras are pretty high up there, I feel like. And he only takes up 2 buff slots, being the rainbow thing and I think an Embrave buff from his freeze joker.
Oh yeah, MF also pointed this out that his call actually now is the frame freeze instead of being the unframe freeze, which is actually very important.
That's correct, yeah. I would say a very bad con of his. I know you haven't talked about pros and cons, but I'm just going to go ahead. He has Unity armor.
I was going to mention that.
He is Brave focused, so it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, there's diminishing returns, and he leans in the 3-1 department. So again, Brave focused, but unfortunately, that just means his HP damage cap up is only 5%. So yeah, that's a thing.
What's it? Wait, hold on, wait. I'm checking this right now. It's only 5% HP damage cap up to the party, right?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah, no. It's like you said, he can work at low investment, but I probably wouldn't go all the way when it comes to high investment.
Oh no, listen. Only people who high invest in Setzer are the ones that love him. I like Setzer, but that armor is that art. Jesus. Yeah, it actually does. The rainbows do help on the off turns because they don't go down on your off turns; they go down on your on turns. So when certain characters like Dorgan and Ferris get locked out consistently, you can just bring Setzer and be like, hey, all my problems are fixed. Actually, that's a lie, because if bright damage is absorbed, then rip both those characters. If it's not absorbed, then go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, and then another thing, we're highlighting that he's good for elemental base characters that get locked out, but he has a lot more uses. Like, I remember during Lufenia Plus, I ran Setzer very frequently with Core and Tidus, and the buff fell off on Tidus quick. But the fact that Core followed up after Tidus' stuff with fixed die still at 6 turns was huge. And next banner, we're getting Yang, who literally does the exact same thing, if not better, than what Core did initially. So if you have Yang doing 2 dumps. This is a little bit of a spoilery up ahead, but if he does 2 dumps constantly with fixed dice at 6 turns, like a majority of the time, he's going to be capping both dumps, and it's overall pretty nice. Like the buff can fall off on a turn hogger, but you know, if someone with a follow-up type like off-turn thing like Yang's LD comes out, like he could pretty much stretch it out for miles and it'd still be really good. Go ahead, Cross. I just wanted to state that.
That's all good, man. Yeah, I think Setzer got better with how the game is going in terms of lockouts. That's how he got better. Catch up cost,
sure.
crusty BT follow up tilt.
That could have been the intent. That could have been the intention behind this. Honestly.
Probably. I gotta speak about CoD because Simon's not here. I don't, bro. You know, I'm gonna say this right now, and if you like CoD, that's cool. But I have never liked playing her. I never liked playing her, and every single time I saw her, I was just like, you put her in your party, she's there for follow-ups. I mean, okay, I shouldn't say it like that. I should say like she enables stuff like that. And what's the synopsis I came? Oh no, let me see. I found a comment on BC's video. I called her as a joke, like a magic delay Quistis with a Vayne-like follow-up, except worse. Ayo's overkill Garnet plus Ramza is a good example. Yeah. Preach BT effect means double chances then. Yeah, it definitely does. But CoD gets a C90. She gets a rework. She gets an FR. I keep saying she, and they don't have a it looks like a it. Yeah, let's just call it it. Actually, can I call it creature? I don't think I can.
Creature.
I just call it it. It has that sounds wrong. CoD has the new thing that is really notable about them is that they now, in their Flood of Darkness overhead, have a 40% Brave Retain, and this is actually very good considering the fact that they have like over about like let's say like 6 or like 7 HP attacks if you include the follow-up. Then that's actually very good for them. Their FR condition is really weird on the wording, so I'm gonna try my best to explain it. So I know she gets FR. I said it again. They get FR boards again, and their condition is we use a magic attack, which is +5, and off turns is included. And then the second two are when you delay an enemy +20% once per turn, and then when you delay an enemy and delay by break is excluded once per turn. Now I'm not sure how that works in function. I'm pretty sure the way that works is that you have to delay the enemy and without breaking them. Delay the enemy without breaking them, and it sounds really weird. It's just really weird. The first condition makes sense.
Yeah.
Second one does, but the third one's kind of weird. That's the highest hitting condition they have. And example of drivers who can hit this is Emperor. Emperor is a huge example of this. Quistis, but I don't know who the hell is using Quistis. Maybe Lael? Maybe. No. No. Yeah, no. 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 Because, I was like, yeah, his skill 2 delays, but that you only use it once. No. Shit, what other drivers are there for her FR? Garland, but he'll probably get patched. He'll probably get patched.
I know for the break condition, I guess Vayne would work, because for some odd reason, Vayne's EX is classified as magic, if I remember.
Yeah, it is magic.
Yeah, but I mean, it's only his EX. I don't think even Mockwave is considered magic, even though he physically throws a projectile towards the enemy. But it's considered melee.
Reigns kicks the shit out of people, and he's considered magic damage dealer, so I don't want to talk about
yeah, that's true. Oh, technically speaking, Reigns, because doesn't his EX delay?
Yeah, but Reigns is kind of dated at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's hope Reigns shield. Garland still works on the ground, but not in the air. But Cam still works in the air. basically, if you delay not using break, second and third condition met, while delay by break is only. Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense now. That makes sense now. Why is it worded like that though? Just made it easier. My general opinion about CoD is ridiculous high damage, and she. Get the damn thing of gender. It's clearly a female. Come on. Anyways, ridiculously high damage. Rebreak delay. If you're using them as your primary DPS, they will not disappoint. Outside of that, they are the issue that every Turner Hogger suffers. And then also, their BT effect is so old. And by old, I mean for the simple fact that I believe that they do not provide any sort of cap-up at all. I'm going to check that right now, just so no one goes in here and be like, actually, they provide this, so let me check. No, they don't provide any sort of cap-up. Wow.
Yeah, no, it's... Yeah.
Oh, and FR condition going to be definitely strict because of the whole, oh, you need to delay, and it needs to be magic. Well, magic's not really hard to hit, but there's not really a consistent amount of magic delayers. The only one that's really consistent is Emperor, and that's really it. Oh, actually, there's one thing I did want to ask. So, I'm not sure if it works like that, if it works like this, but does anyone know if Emperor's Trap, if it activates on the off turns, because it does delay and it is a magic attack, will it tick up her FR on the off turn? I'm gonna get canceled after this stream. Does it count towards their turns? Does it count? Because I'm not sure if it does.
Wait, what are you talking about?
So you know how Emperor's Trap, the Thorns of Repentance, right? It delays and it's a magic attack. Will it count on the off turns or will it not?
I believe it counts on the off turns because it goes off on enemy turns.
Oh, that's funny. But actually, someone said, Mihar, if you're pulling for COD FR or you have a COD FR friend, because I know you're the one who has Emperor, can you try that out? Not sure Soundwave does. It did. Yes, it does. Oh, that's dumb. Oh, that's dumb. So you can actually do some neat things with COD's FR. I know there's some Signs video. And he's still not here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's up with Sign, but I guess I can give my take on COD.
Yeah, go ahead, because I personally do not get two shits about this character.
Yeah, I think this character is kind of eh. I mean, the rework did make her on turn pretty good. I think her totals are 4 dumps on skill 1, 2 full on skill 2, or 6 single with splash at the end. 5 on LD, and I believe 7 on EX. So, I mean, her on-turn damage is definitely high, and she does have the capabilities to do on-turn or off-turns. And I guess you don't have to play her as a turn hogger. You could obviously just use her skill 2 or skill 1 and try to not break. Although I guess it's hard trying to do that with those. But yeah, her off-turns doesn't feel good. It's 2 dumps, which I guess is pretty standard, but the fact that there's no HP damage cap up and there's characters with 2 dumps that have HP damage cap up, Machina being one, it's ideally not good. And the FR condition, like Cross said, it's tricky. It's clearly designed to be used with her, maybe to go into her BT phase, but it's just all over the place, with the magic providing off turns, and then the huge, 50% multiplier both conditions are met. It's confusing.
So I have a funny. So what's one of the characters that can actually drive COD's FR? Well, not drive it because they do no fucking damage, but they technically can drive it. Selfie, because she has delay. She does magic damage, even though I'm pretty sure it's not break damage. And then that's really it. But she also doesn't break the enemy, so it's an option.
It's a feature. But yeah, no, I would honestly say pass.
Yeah, I'm passing on them too.
I
never
guess
liked their playstyle.
I guess she gets FR echoes later, which is
If you're
a
skipping
feature.
them now, you're not getting them later.
Yeah, which is a feature, but like I don't even think does her BT even get touched when that
No.
happens, Crux?
No, it's still
Oh.
old.
Yeah, yeah, guys, probably a skip.
Not bad, but old. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with CoD.
Oh, well, I will give credit where credit's due. The damage is definitely there. The BT effect definitely needs a tuning. In fact, you know what's crazy? I think Bane's actually aged better than theirs, because Bane's at least gives cap up. Like, Brave cap up, it's not HP damage cap up, but it's still something.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, let me check Bane's right now before I sound dumb. Bane gives... actually a lot. Party attack up, party brave regen, party brave damage up, party brave damage cap up, a follow-up when you break, party attack up, and more party brave damage cap up.
Yeah, no, it's pretty loaded, because I think at the time, those BTs started giving, like, attack ups as well. Like, I know Jack gets, like, 80% party attack up with his BT. So, like, I don't know, maybe, like, our numbers were really that bad that they're like, you know what, let's just slap some attack in addition to, like, HP damage on BT effects.
And then they made C90s.
Yeah.
Alright, the fight coming out tonight, it is... I wouldn't say it's a bad fight. I would say it's one of the more interesting fights. And by interesting, I mean in terms of how it works. So, it's against the Cray Claws, and these guys have a set attack pattern like any of these guys that come out. Credit where credit's due, actual Japanese default JP controversies showcase unique ways to utilize COD's lasers on elements of Zorfice and make Dorgans fall up to 5 to 6 times a turn. Oh yeah, I did see that part. So like wonky stuff like that also can work. But,
yeah, I mean that's more gimmicky stuff. That's like shit. What's it called? That's like Snowverflow stuff, right? Like I wouldn't treat that
like Snowverflow.
like I wouldn't treat it like usual play.
Yeah, like what's the unusual play examples like that? Snowverflow. What's the other one?
God, there is another one. Eateroth is a pretty...
Eateroth is impractical because if you run Eateroth, you turn into a different human being.
Yeah. You morph in real time.
You morph in real time. I hate it here. Shit, what's the other unpractical? You know what? Let's not talk about unpractical stuff. Let's talk about the practical stuff. Wait, are you back, by the way?
Yeah, I'm back.
What's your opinion on COD?
So, like I was saying, I guess in the pre-show, I'm not really a big fan of her kit in general. I specifically since her LD, but even since like beforehand, the FR does have some cool interactions with stuff like Emperor and sort of any delay unit. So I guess like Garland or Cypher or stuff along those lines, even though they're not magic, so they wouldn't be optimal. I think, yeah, definitely her best pairing is Emperor. And so if you really like running Emperor, you know, COD might be another great way to further extend his lifespan if you want to keep doing that. Yeah, as you guys said, her BT sucks. Like the BT auras suck. The effect is still, I guess, pretty good with the double follow-up. And her damage is pretty good for a damage dealer at this point. So if you are investing in her, you know, as your DPS of choice, you can definitely do that. She's not element locked, which is also a plus. The only thing is, you know, if you gotta like her playstyle, you gotta like the you gotta like delaying the enemy, you gotta like managing the stacks and doing all the
You gotta like no
shenanigans
boss turn.
that yeah. So you gotta do all the stuff that comes with playing a delay unit. So I know it's a pretty, you know, divisive. I'm not sure. Like it's a pretty hit or miss play style. So just
not decisive, divided. It's like
yeah, just like know what you're getting into if you are gonna pull her. And again, you know, like if you want to pull her for her interactions with like Emperor and stuff, that's like a different thing, and you know, go for it. I'm sure that's fun in its own way. And she can definitely extend the lifespan of certain units like that. I guess one thing to note though is she is one of the earlier FR echoes, so she does get a nice bonus pretty early on into the FR echo era. But yeah, that's about all I have to say.
Garland gets an interaction patch while Cam gets away with his crimes. And that's just the nature of it. What was I talking about before I asked you about your opinions on CoD? Oh yeah, the fight. The fight has 75 million each on these bosses. Is it 75 million? I think it's 75 million. It should be 75 million, right? Yeah, it's 85 million. These bosses at 85 million.
Yeah, 85.
Five less than the Fujin fight, which the Fujin fight, both bosses had like 90 million HP, so this boss actually has like, let's say -5 of that, basically. The way this boss works is that it has a set attack pattern. It first does a brave attack, then does two single target brave attacks, and does an AoE attack. It absorbs water for whatever unknown reason. I don't know why it does.
Fuck Rudia.
I guess. But all their attacks are dodgeable, so that doesn't make any sense. Like, what? So they're weak to Thunder too because of Reno, because he's synergy here. They're only immune to max HP down, which I don't know who the fuck is, you know. But that's not the important thing. The important thing is that when
that's a Yuffie thing.
Yeah, that's a Yuffie thing.
Because they inflicted on you.
Yeah. But the boss's force time increases their speed at what's it called? From 40 at the 40% threshold or the 20% threshold. I think it's 20% threshold. And then later on they start doing stuff like more speed up increase and turn rate down on your party by 50%. So they're basically encouraging them to take a lot of turns because they're crabs. I guess so. Their force time makes it so that they delay you by 1 turn, and they increase their brave to the initial brave when brave is less than their initial brave, so like they'll get back to initial brave quickly than that. They do have stuff like defense up and attack down, stuff like that. The force time is for 5 turns. The main thing though is when you reach 79% and 19%, this boss will get a yellow aura, and this yellow aura does the same thing that the Reno LC does and then the tier 10 fight does. However, the way to dispel it is to do a delay. Now, the delay is not a once thing. Like, you cannot delay one and then it will dispel. You have to delay both of them to dispel for both of them, right? And then they also get a 2% heal when they're in this phase. So, if you want to dispel the most beneficial way, bring an AoE delay call or an AoE delay character. The best example for this is Cypher's Call, because Cypher's Call AoE delays by 1 turn. It does not have to be 2, it does not have to be 3. You don't have to delete the boss out of existence, but you need to delay the boss by once. And I believe if you have a good enough force time and you have a sign or push call, you can actually skip the 19% threshold, but it's fine on that regard. Oh yeah, it's 2% heal on anyone's turn. So like the boss's turn.
It's a field action.
Yeah, it's a field action. So the best way to dispel obviously is to AoE delay them. The AoE delay calls are included are Seymour, the LDCA. Cypher both calls if foul is up, which he basically puts on the enemy before he even does the attack.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't.
Right? I'm not wrong. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it applies right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a Buckstar thing.
Selfie, but I don't know who the hell is using Selfie called. Who else?
Ramza.
Sabin.
Ramza.
Ramza's another one, yeah. I could put
Dark Knight Cecil would probably be a good one since it's the HP damage up as well.
Oh, yeah, you're right, yeah. Yeah, I mentioned that X-Kill, but what I meant by the fusion of a Reno LC and tier 10 when they do that. Oh, that's a good Bronx BT finisher. Who else does that?
Quistis called.
Wait, oh yeah, Quistis. Yeah.
I feel like I'm forgetting someone.
There's so many.
Oh, Cloud.
Oh yeah, Cloud, yeah.
Yeah,
Cloud
LD.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, Excal, like, if you skip the 19% with one sign call, I think will be good enough. And he has to be ultimate, obviously, right? That probably be good enough for you.
Sync delays.
Also, do you know if Reno's numb works on
it will
this?
Count. It will count.
Okay, yeah. Because I know they only have one magic attack, so technically speaking, I mean, we're just thrashing Numb. I mean, you could probably use Numb to, check these bosses.
I don't want to talk about Numb. I really don't. I really don't. Or Orange EX, which is funny because you wouldn't want to press it, but it's the one time that you want to press it.
Kane EX as well.
Kane EX as well. So you have options. There's options.
Kai's EX too, if someone wants to justify using Kai's because he has force enhancements over selfie.
Fujin. Sid. Highwind. I'm talking about Sid Highwind. Oh yeah, Reigns too.
Yeah.
Hit him with that rain shield.
Hit him with... No, it is not in global yet. It's only in JP, not global. But this fight isn't terribly difficult. It can definitely catch you off guard, but it's not terribly difficult. I would say it's like the middle of the road fight. It's not hard, but it's not easy. I don't know, some people might disagree with me on that because of the whole Cheetah's King shenanigans and Machina and stuff like that, but
would you say it's harder than Fujin?
Most likely not. Because the thing about Fujin was you have to deal with the elemental thing without wind, and then the gigantic HP spike for some odd reason. But other than that, I would say it's the middle of the road fight. Honestly, like I can't keep stressing it without saying it. It's literally the middle of the road fight. Like you can play this fight and not feel super threatened, but you also feel like that you're not laxed enough to feel like, oh, this fight is like easy as shit. I don't have to care about anything because this fight can catch you off guard. Like the boss gets extremely speedy at one point, and like if you let the boss get consistent turns, well, they're gonna kill you. So it is a thing to keep in mind about. But of course, since they don't have guaranteed hits, you can kind of just say, let me bring Galuf, Edge, and just tell the boss to go kill it, tell the boss to just go fuck off and something like that. Fuji, did someone say delay? Also, thank you for the raid, by the way, Rune. I was gonna say it, but I didn't. But this is the final Shiryu, meaning this is the final D2D, which we only have 7 minutes to talk about. But I do want to ask who you guys are gonna use in the fight.
For Dare to Defy specifically, or in general?
Both, because we're getting both Dare to Defy, the last one, and then to this.
I'm probably just gonna Tidus the normal one, because normally what I do is I just brain dead the regular one, and then I strategize for Dare to Defy, because obviously I have to try and whatnot with a different team comp. Like I already have Tidus locked in tier 10. I think for Dare to Defy 7, I honestly might try to Jack Dabrowska it and then bring like a Cypher Call on Jacked, because he's the one that's going to take up the most turns, and try to evenly put them at 79 so I could use them. I'll probably throw like a Diesel Call on my third. I think my third might be Ursula, because I actually like Ursula and Jack together. and I would have 4 FR uses. So yeah, I'd say with those 3, I do pretty well. What are you planning to take, Tree Void?
So if I do manage to get CoD, then I will be bringing CoD, Setzer, and probably Charlotta for the D2D, because I haven't used her or Cam yet. So, but Cam doesn't really work with those other 2, so probably Charlotta.
For me, personally, I'm going to use the same team I used in Reno's IW, because I actually really like that team. Like Machina with the self delay, and then he provides the HP damage kappa, and then Edge is keeping the party safe, and then Reno's also keeping the party safe. It's gonna be a little finicky using Reno there because of the fact that you need to delay them, but it's something that timing can basically fix, honestly. Also, I think this boss does a good amount of all attacks, funny enough. Hold on, let me see. Where is it? The Crux. I'm so used to this thing's reskin. Let me see. Let's just say single target attack. It just says melee. So if it is all AoE damage, actually if it's all AoE, I could bring Galuf and Edge in the same party, and that sounds really dumb, but if the boss spams AoE damage, that is very good. Reno FR is exceptionally good, yeah, because the boss gets extremely speedy. What party did you use for Reno's IW? I used Edge, Reno, and then Machina. I used Machina's off-turn capabilities with HP damage cap up, and Edge's stuff too. Because with Edge and Machina, I'm able to get like 4 counters off, and then when Edge gets his enhanced counter, that's like 6, and then if Machina ends up being hit, that's like 7, so that's a good amount. That's a good amount. And then I think for my second round, I'm going to run Kaiser, obviously. I have to run Kaiser in every stage that I can.
Fire Saga?
No! Well,
Oh, it's a thing.
maybe. I don't know. I'm still waiting for Noel to get updated, bro. But,
Never.
this last 3, the only thing that's a bit of a bummer with Edge Machina is that Edge's at EX will deny Machina's hit EX counter. Yeah, that's the only one thing, but it isn't a real big damage loss, honestly, to me. It's just 1 counter. It's not gonna make a big. It's not gonna be like, if you were to bring like Arden with like a delay FR. But
yeah, so it doesn't matter right now. If you're running his FR, I mean, you are technically losing out on 25% every counter that he doesn't get from his EX. Right, which adds up over time.
Yeah. But
for now, yes, it doesn't matter.
Alright, so the last bit of the stream, hey Mog, D2D, I guess. D2D, this is the last one. So, I just want to show you guys my D2D clears, because I know a lot of people have different D2D clears. D2D, I mentioned this before a lot of times. Lockout content equals good content, in my opinion. I know some people might be thinking, you like lockout content? You must hate this game. No, I actually really like it when the game gives us lockout content, because it actually makes me think harder about who I'm going to use, who I'm going to save for later stages, and like actually diverging into our rosters. Because like, a little bit of a history lesson. When this month came out in JP, a lot of people didn't pull. Because you had this booming virus called Cam, so why pull when you could just Cam this through everything? Well, obviously, except tier 10, unless you have Waka. But here's my Digital Fight clears. The first one was completely AIDS. I hated doing it. I played Lightning again, even though I like her. Oh my god, does it feel so ass only at 2 HP attacks on a single
you
skill.
ran that team?
Yeah, I ran the Lightning Selfie Leo team, and like, it felt. Think about this, right? Oh, Lightning with blue armor. Okay, cool, whatever, right? She doesn't have an ultimate weapon. Selfie and Leo had an ultimate weapon. No, she has C90.
Oh.
Why the fuck would I use a
Oh, you-
non-C90 character.
She got it early.
Oh, you just don't have a sword.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't have
okay.
an ultimate weapon sword. Yeah.
Oh, that's skill issue then.
What?
Why don't you have the right weapons?
What the f-
You need ultimate weapon sword for your Titus.
Someone get the foot longer already so I can cancel fucking Tree Boy.
It's happened like 15 times.
Anyways, just have better ultimate weapons, motherfucker. Okay,
Yeah,
listen,
exactly. Thank you,
Listen.
Mog.
I'm not. I can't even say that. Because I have Greatsword and Unique. That's two of the best ultimate weapons in the game.
Yeah,
And
those
then-
are fucking meta shit.
And then I have Fist, which is going to be really dumb later on the line. Because you have Gao, you have Reigns, you have 8, you have that character.
Wow, are you just skipping out on like the next upcoming Fist unit?
David, I was going to mention.
Yang.
Oh, I have Yang.
You didn't say it. Just glossed over him.
Oh, you didn't even like Final Fantasy 4. Shut up. Anyways,
4. What the hell?
what's it called? And then for the second one, which is Ursa Lost Chapter, that's a meme. I use the Siguna, the Siguna duo, and I just put Celeste in there because why not? It was very weird running Celeste there, but she just basically just made that fight look like even more of a joke. For the third one, I used Ursula, Kane, and Orin. I just kind of just said fuck it, I didn't care about that one. The fourth one, I actually released someone from this. I don't remember who it was. And then I put Charlotta, Garnet, and Fujin in there. That's 2 synergy characters. For 5, I still don't know why they reduced the boss's HP. Probably to make it easier for people. But
As a coward.
I used the first 2 units I used in my tier 10 run, which was Caius and Obrant, and I just put Snow in there because Snow, I'm not going to use him later on, so why would I bother? But I was not using him without Snow Overflow.
You overflowed your Caius?
No, I didn't Snow Overflow my Caius. Anyways, and then the Reno one, I bought Cryo, fucking 5%. And then I bought Gallup and then Freya. Hell, that 5% actually turned into like, what, 30% every off turn? Minus the paralyzed thing. But D2D is great content. I wouldn't say it's flawless. I would say that if we do continue to get this, I'm very appreciative of it because it actually makes it so that I have to expand and use my entire roster. Again, I like it when this game makes it so that I can go ahead and experiment with my roster and stuff like that. I don't like using the same 8 characters over and over again and saying, oh, the game is dying, or it's boring, I don't like this game, it's so dull. And then, like, it just feels more rewarding to use the units that you build. How do you guys feel about that, honestly? Because I know, well, I'm not sure. I actually know, Chibo, you did tell me that you started, right? Like, recently, right?
Yeah, I'm caught up. Yeah, Blind Eye, do you want to give your thoughts first?
Sure. Do you want me to give you a rundown of what I've ran in D2D as well, Cross?
It doesn't really matter. It's all
I
man.
suppose I can, since I've ran some interesting runs. Do you want to go first, Treewood?
No, you go.
All right, so there to defy 1, I took Beatrix, Yuna, Gabrant. Like Cross said, this is fucking AIDS. This was stupid. There to defy 2, since this was the easiest one, I incredibly lowballed this. I took Shulk, Alphanod, and Freya, and I believe I did this in 58 turns. 5 was overall easy. There to defy 3, I took Machina, that isn't green, Steiner, and Realm. This fight was pretty okay. It was actually kind of fun just having Machina just like off turn throughout the whole thing. Even though I didn't have him green, his BT lasted like incredibly long. He got like 70% on both of them before his BT ran out. So that's, good lord, what is that? Like 10% of BT tick? Like it was pretty nice. There to defy 4, I took Fujin, Goluf, and Ramza. Fujin did not have an FR. This was when Cross was questioning my sanity. He's like, is this even fun for you?
You did that FR list, and I literally looked at you like, why would you do that?
Dare to Defy 5, that's the one that I took Titus. If you guys listened earlier, my team was Titus, Kane, and Snow. That run was actually kind of fun because Titus on his BT attack actually capped everything because of Snow's BT. It was hilarious, and he did so much damage. And finally, Dare to Defy 6, I just Reno edged it, and Kate Sith was on the side for consistency. Overall, my thoughts about Dare to Defy, it was more or less a box check, and like Cross said, or rather, I'm in agreement with Cross. I'd say if this comes out, it's really challenging content and really challenged my box. And overall, like, it felt pretty nice having to use these options, especially options that people were like, yeah, you know, they're dead on arrival, like Shulk. Like, everyone was saying that Shulk wasn't good, and I do agree she's not that good, but the fact that, you know, we're presented with this content and it's like, you know what? This ass character might not be so ass for this, right? And I used her, and I mean, I got the results I needed, right? Like, I got a perfect in it. So it's really fun having to, like, you know, think out of the box and even bring options that people on the other hand would be like, well, you know what, X is better than, you know, this character being Y, but we can only use X once and we might have to resort to Y. So yeah, what about you, Trevoy? What do you think about Dare to Defy as a whole?
So I think I'm a little bit more mixed on it than I guess our general community here. Partially because, you know, like, this was my idea that was stolen from me. So not cool, Crux.
Why?
You know, I was doing these, and I guess technically Eamon was first. But we've been doing these community challenges, and then Swex is like, okay, let's just rip it off wholesale. So, whatever, I guess.
That's why, because you didn't trademark it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna say they trademarked.
You see,
So,
you gotta be like the React channel and trademark the word challenge.
Yeah, exactly.
Next thing you know, they bring this back, but they add a TM on the top right.
Yeah, hashtag not bitter. But aside from that, on a serious note here, I think my issue with it is, so if this is like a permanent repeating thing we get every month, then it's fine. But if it's not, if this was a one-off event, I think it's pretty lazy. It's like Equinox or Crevasse are like a lot more interesting. It's unique fights, and like there's multiple of them. Here, you know, this is the longest amount of lockout content in 7 fights, but it's literally, I guess except for 5, it's literally the same fights plus a nerfed fight. So like it's cool. Again, like, if it becomes a permanent feature, I understand why they're doing it, because this is like the least amount of effort possible to produce some sort of endgame. So I get it. But otherwise, yeah, if this is a one-off, I'm not super crazy. I don't think Odin's HP was
Odin was the same. It's just tier 10.
Yeah. And also, like, talking about it with you guys, I think maybe I kind of understand why. Maybe they were looking at this cycle statistically, and Cross did mention, like, nobody pulled during this time in JP, right? And even now, like, our like content creators, the majority were like, well, you know what, you know, this character's good, but you know what, next month we're getting Gladio, Core, Luna Freya, Saban, etc. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, like this month, like there wasn't much activity on the JP side, you know, we need to come up with something to, you know, maybe have people think twice and maybe go for some FRs that they would otherwise skip, right? And we even saw this with even some of our prominent members. Like Numino publicly stated that Dare to Defy got him to pull for Ursula when he was initially going to skip Ursula. Mm-hmm. So it's, yeah, I feel like there was some strategy behind this when it came to releasing Dare to Defy.
Yeah, like all the people who are saying like they did it too early or whatever, like you're missing the point. Like they did this because no one was planning to pull this month.
Yeah, no, because
like that's why they did it.
Because like, think about this, right? You're playing a gacha game, right? The whole purpose of playing a gacha game is to pull. If you're not pulling, then why are you playing? like it's the same excuse every single time. Like people are like, oh, I don't want to be forced to pull. That's predatory. The game's asking for too much. What game do you think you're playing? It's a gacha game. They want your money. They want you to pull. They don't care about how you really feel like that. Like, if you're not gonna pull, then why are you here?
Yeah, so I'm not very hopeful that it'll repeat. But, you know, obviously I would like it to. But there's a lot of people who just assume that it's a for sure thing that it's going to happen again. I wouldn't get your hopes up. We've been disappointed by a lack of endgame for a long time.
You mean the fact that they dropped Crevasse after one thing?
Yeah, I think if anything, what they might do is this is just filler, and they might try to improve on something that was well received, like Crevasse, if anything. And
I would hope so.
And then obviously throw it at us when maybe a month has like no activity or people are planning to skip, and maybe throw some time shifts ahead of us just to obviously urge us to pull to have an easier time to do said content.
Yeah, I'll just do a quick rundown of my Dare to Defy teams. So for one, I did... by the way, there is a Tree Void challenge for this Dare to Defy, by the way. It's bring a throw unit to every fight. So I am, of course, doing it. So Dare to Defy 1, I did Braska, Lael, Galuf, which was like, okay. Braska sucks. Dare to Defy 2, I did Gabranth, Hope, and Caius. Holy shit, is Hope shit right now. He was hitting triple-digit Brave damage, and I was like, oh boy, under 2 BT effects. And I was like, oh, he's not there.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's gotten an update in 2 years now.
Well, since his LD boards, which made his LD have a double-double.
Oh, yeah, LD board. Okay, so 1 year.
But yeah, I was thinking, like, he imperils magic. He should be doing some damage. No, like 600 damage. 3 was Terra, Ace, Orin, so that was pretty easy. 4 was Machina, Fujin, Zac. Zac, like, shuts down the bosses so that you don't really have to worry about it. And Machina was there for DPS. I did like Super Brain Dead for 5. I did Tidus, Sissy Nene, and Freya. And then for 6, I did Reno, Waka, and Garnet.
Hey,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah, Waka and Reno aren't like super great synergy because if you get the Waka stun, it's great for Cam. Not so great on a melee-only boss for Reno. Because it's like you kind of want them to attack. So that was really disappointing.
Yeah, no, I would imagine Waka and Reno are just wonky. Because it's like 50% blind. If you paralyze, nothing happens. Like at that point, you might as well just bring Dash or something.
Alright. So, I think we all have these somewhat similar opinions when it comes to D2D. But of course, Chivoid says that he would rather them like improve better on it when it comes to endgame content, and I don't mind that. And it is something that I think Square Enix in the Shimmy era is trying to get better at. But with where JP's kind of going, a lot of people don't have hope for that in the future. But I don't want to talk about JP right now because one thing that has been just getting thrown around. But we're gonna have to start wrapping up. But let's just do closing thoughts. Chivoid, closing thoughts.
Pull Reno. That's my closing thoughts.
Blonde, closing thoughts.
God, what do I say? I guess good luck in Dare to Defy 7, guys. I hope you had fun with Dare to Defy. Have a good night, everybody.
All right. And my closing thoughts is to check out Chivoid's Echoes from the Rift. They do it every other Wednesday to talk about JP stuff. And Also, good luck again on Dare to Defy, and good luck on your polls if you're polling on later on. And then there's also going to be the Crux community stream, which I honestly might stream that on Twitch with like some people in the DeFo scene around our circle. So I definitely will probably stream that. And then we're gonna get to see people the whole like skip Shala Luna Freya pullers and shit like that. But take care everyone. And of course, if you're on the YouTube side, make sure to subscribe, like the video. Twitch side, guys, again, thank you for the people who followed. And again, always thank you for the support. And next week is actually our 50th episode, and then I believe the week after that is the anniversary of Historia Crux. So I'm going to see if I might make those some sort of like special type things, maybe, but don't guarantee on that. But anyways, guys, take care and have a good night.
Good night, y'all.